Hi lovely people, welcome back to my tutorial for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support and thank you for your subscribing. Thank you so much for those of you that wished me a happy birthday on the 14th of this month. So now today's class we shall be looking at how to make a wrapped lay dress. Okay, so in this video I'll be showing you how to make a full flay and a medium flay. So when you look at this picture, you will see that this one is not that full. Okay, but look at the one that I'm putting on, you will see that it's cumbersome. Okay, so in this video I'll be showing you how to make this full flay and how to make a medium flay. So don't go anywhere, watch till the end, and please do not fast forward edits. Thank you so much, and if this is your first time stopping by, kindly help us by hitting on that red icon to subscribe and also touch the bell to be the first to be notified whenever I upload a new video. So let's go to the cutting tool. We'll be starting by cutting the down part of the dress first before cutting out the upper part. Okay, so with the two pictures that I show you in making of a flay dress, it depends on how if you want it to be fuller. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is, this is the two edge of the dress of the wrapper, sorry. So what you have to do is to hold one edge this way, okay, either this or this edge, anyone you like. Just hold it this way and you fold it like so in a triangular form. Okay, look at what I'm doing. This, hold it up this way, then fold it this way. Okay, so when you hold the tips this way, then you take this to cross over to this side. Okay, so now if you want the flay to be full, what you have to do is to take this edge, okay, then make it to be equal with this other edge, like so. So when you cut it this way, you have a full flay dress. Okay, but if you don't want it to be that full, you just need to do some adjustments, okay, like this. You just adjust it so that it will not be full. Okay, I think what I folded is enough for what I want. Okay, so my folding stops here. Okay, so as you can see, it didn't extend to the other end. Okay, so the next thing I will do now is to take my measurements. So first is to determine our waist circumference, and the waist circumference I'm working with is 35 inches. Okay, all right, so I will divide that waist by 4 inches, sorry, by 4. The waist is 35, so when I divide by 4 I will have 8.75. so here I will just check where I have my 8.75. So remember, I'll be adding extra inches, like 1 inch for my sewing allowance. Okay, so I will be having 9.75, or I can equally just round it up to 10. Okay, all right, so here I have my 10 inches. So I will just make a straight line here. Okay, all right. So the next is to determine the length that we are working with. So the full length I'm working with is 62 inches. Okay, so minus our half length, which is 17 inches, we will have 45 inches. So here I'll be getting 45 inches for this down part. Then I'll add extra 1 inch for our folding and for the joining of the upper part. So altogether I'll be having 46 inches. Okay, so from here now I will measure my 46 inches. Okay, I'll measure my 46 inches. So I will just mark my 46 inches round. Okay, so I'll just use a dotted line for it, and after which I will connect that. Sorry if I'm not be if I didn't get the video well, so you can see what I'm doing, but just follow my mouth. Okay, so whatever thing you have for the down length, just measure it round. Okay, then after you just connect it. Okay, sorry, my table is not wide enough. So after connecting the lines, I have this. Okay, this to this. So when you look at this very well, you will see that this one stopped here, while the actual length exceeds to this point. So we are going to cut this out now. After which we will cut out another piece to complete this part. Okay, all right. So after cutting it out, I have this. I'll just go ahead and use my pin to hold up this part. Okay. So I'll just proceed now and cut out the back piece using the front part. Okay, so now I've gone ahead to spread another fabric. Then I'll place my front piece to it. Okay, all right. So at this folded part of the front, we'll be facing the zipper part of the back. Okay, so here I have 1.5 inches left for my zip. Okay, so here I will just place this way and cut this out. So I'll just sketch it out and cut this out. Okay, then I'll use this piece to cut the second back of the back piece. So after cutting it out, we have this. Okay, so I'll just remove this front piece. So this is our back piece. Then at this back, you have to be very careful. So here is the back piece of our dress, and here is the front face. Okay, so I'll just spread the fabric again to cut out the second piece. Okay, so here is also the back piece, and I will look for the back piece of this. This is the back piece. So you must make sure that the back piece faces back face. If not, you will end up having the same face. Okay, so you should make sure that if it's the front face, make sure that it faces the front face. And if it's the back face, make sure that it's facing the back face. Okay, all right. I'll just make this to be equal. Okay, I'll just proceed now and cut this out. So here I have my two back piece complete. So I'll just go ahead now and cut out the lining for it. Okay, all right. So we'll proceed in cutting out our upper part, which is the wrapped up. Okay. Okay, before I cut out the front piece, I'll first of all complete this front piece of the down that is not complete. Remember that the two is not equal, so we have to first of all join it to be equal. Okay, so I've cut out a piece. Just place your fabric to the piece, use your pin to hold it, and use the back to sketch it out. Okay, so that it will be equal. All right, so here is where I have my attachment. Okay, all right. Okay, for the back, for the front parts, we'll be using a pattern paper to draft out our front piece. Okay, so for the wraps, there are different ways to cut a wrap top. Some will choose to cut out the full body, then now slant it. But I think that way wastes material. So I normally use a pattern paper to draft it. So for my wrap, I'll be having 6 inches extra. So this here will be forming the wrap. Okay, so I can just rabble here for my wrap. Okay, so that it will guard me. Okay, so here I have my half length to be 17 inches. Okay, I'll be adding a band to it, so I'll be using 2 inches band for it, so I'll minus that 2 inches from my half length, so I'll be having 15 inches. So here from this point now to this point is 16 inches instead of 15 inches. I added extra 1 inch, okay, for my folding. All right, so we go ahead now to take our measurements. So the shoulder I'm working with is 15 inches into 2 to give us 7.5. So all my measurements now will be starting from that point. Okay, all right, so here instead of marking 7.5, I will add extra half an inch, okay, that we use to attach our sleeve. So here I'll mark 8 inches, okay. Then I'll also mark our 3 inches for our shoulder slope. Okay. So at this 8 inch now, I will take 1 inch for our shoulder slope. Then from that 1 inch, I'll take our armhole, and the armhole we are working with is 17 inches into 2 to give us 8.5. Okay, so I can equally take back my 8 inches here. So I'll connect this line. Okay. So at this point, we'll be taking our bust measurements. Alright. So the bust I'm working with is 39 inches into 4 to give us 9.75. So from here, I'll mark our 9.75. Then I'll be adding extra inches for our seam allowance. So I'll be adding 2 extra inches, okay, for our seam allowance. So the waist I'm working with is 35 inches into 4 to give us 8.75. 8.75. Then extra inches. I'll be adding extra 1 inch for that and extra 2 inches for our seam allowance. Okay, 1 inch for that and 2 inches for our seam allowance. So I'll go ahead and connect this. All right, so for our armhole, okay, let me just connect the shoulder slope. Okay, for our armhole, remember we have 8 8.5 for our armhole. So half of those will be giving us 4.25. Okay, so you can make use of your French curve, or you can just connect this to the bust measurement this way. Okay, so just half of this, then you connect. All right, so because this is the front piece, from this point now we come out by ½ inch. Okay, this way, then you will connect from here to this ½ inch, then we connect to the bust measurement. Okay, so for the front we'll be making use of this one, and for the back we'll be making use of this first curve. Okay, for the neck line, for the neck width, I'll be using 4 inches. We're making use of 4 inches, and for the neck depth I'll be using 7 inches or 7.5. Okay, let me use 7.25. All right, so what I will do now is to connect from those 4 inches. Okay, I will connect this way. All right, then I will make a straight line from this point to connect to the 6 inches this way. Okay, so I'll just make sure that I blend it well. Okay, initially I made a little bit of curve here, then take it straight, but I just checked the picture of what my client wants, and I see is a kind of form of a v-neck. So if I do it this way, it will not give me that v look. Okay, so I just have to make from those 4 inches. Now I'll just connect it straight down to the 6 inches. Okay, so I'll have something in V form this way. So I'll just go down straight. Okay, all right, so looking at this point now, you see that I just connected the straight, but I've been making a wrap top that I'll be attaching a belt to this point. Okay, then I have to come up like 2 inches upwards, then connect it and make it straight. Maybe I'll do a different video on that, but here is sharp because I'll be stitching it up and attach it to the band without a belt. Okay, so I'll just go ahead now and cut those out. Okay, so this is what I have for the front. So I'll just use this and cut out the remaining front parts. Okay, then after that I'll use it to cut out my fabric. Okay, for the back piece, I also make use of 16 inches for the half length, which we also use at the front piece. Okay, 17 minus 2, 15 plus 1 inch for our um allowance. Okay, all right, so here I have my 1.5 inches. Remember that the down part of our dress is also 1.5 that we left for our zipper. Okay, so I also have 1.5 for the upper part. Okay, so the next thing I will do is to take our shoulder measurement, which is 15 inches into 2 to give us 7.5 plus half an inch to give us 8 inches. Okay, so here I mark my 8 inches and I mark my 3 inches for shoulder slope. I'll come down here and mark my 1 inch. Okay, so the armhole we are working with is 17 inches into 2 to give us 8.5. Okay, so I'll also mark my 8 inches here. Alright, then my line will be straight. So here I will connect this. Okay, the bust I'm working with is 39 inches into 4 to give us 9.75. Then I'll add extra 2 inches. The waist I'm working with is 35 inches into 4 to give us 8.5. Then I'll add 1 inch for our dart and 2 inches for our shoulder slope. Sorry, 2 inches for our seam allowance. Okay, so I'll just connect this now. So for the armhole, 4.25. So I'll connect it. Okay, then I'll connect my shoulder slope. So remember for the front part we used 4 inches for our shoulder width. For the neckline width, so I'll also mark that 4 inches here. Then for the depth I'll be using 1.5 inches. So I'll just connect from those 4 inch now to 1.5. Okay, all right. So I'll just go ahead now and cut those out. So I'll just use this. This is the back piece and this is the front piece. So I'll just use this now to cut out our fabric. Okay. Okay, as you can see, I've cut out the back and the front piece. Okay. So when you look at this, my front piece, well, you see that I notch out the 6 inches that we left. Okay. So the way I'll be sewing it up, I'll open it up this way and open up this part too. Then I will join it this way. This notch now will guide me, okay? So it will be on top each other like so. Okay. So I'll just stitch it up this way and attach my band to it. So I'll be cutting the band, I'll be cutting the front piece separate and I'll cut the back piece separate, so that I will be joining the two sides. This helps me because if you want to do an adjustment, or take for instance the person added weight and needs you to loosen it out, if you make a straight band that will cover the front and the back, only leaving a space for the zipper where you will be joining it, it will affect you when you want to lose it out. So I normally attach my band separately. Okay, all right, so I'll cut a band for the front piece and I'll cut a separate band for the back piece. Okay, I'll be cutting the back too, as it is this way. Okay, I will cut for this and I'll cut for this. Okay, then I'll attach it and attach them to the down parts of my dress. So now we'll move over to cut out the lining of them. Then I'll be cutting out our sleeve. Okay, so here I'll be making a big buff sleeve, a big sleeve. Okay, so here I've folded my fabric into 4. Okay, so here I want to be cutting the sleeve together. I want to cut the 2 sleeves together. So I'll just fold this. Into 2, and I will fold again, making it into 4. Okay, so here, and for my sleeve it will be also be having a band at the down part of it. So for the sleeve I'll be making use of 16 inches, and I'll add 2 inches band at the down part. Okay, so altogether I'll be having 13 inches. So here I will mark my 16 inches. This 16 includes the folding allowance. Okay, so here, instead of making use of 2 inches for instead of making 2 inches, using 2 inches, sorry, 4 inches for my cap's height, I'll be making use of 5 inches. Okay, because I want to plait it at the shoulder parts. Okay, so I'll just connect this, just make a straight line here and take my armhole measurement, which is 8.5. Before that I will mark 1 inch here because I want to make a slit. I want to make a slit at the center part, so I'll just mark out 1 inch here, so that when I open it up I'll also close it. I won't be adding a lining to this sleeve. Okay, all right, so I will just connect this. I'll open up here so that this extra inches here will help me to fold them. Okay, so my measurement will be starting from this point. So here I have my 8.5 inches here. Then I'll be using this for my, I'll be adding 2 inches for allowance. So from this point now, okay, so from here I will go down straight. At this down part I'm having altogether 14 inches. So from here now I will go down straight this way, so that I will gather the rest of those parts to the band. Okay, so it will give me what I want. So from here now we'll go down straight this way, and okay, I'll just go ahead and cut this out. Okay, so after cutting it out, I have this. So I will go ahead now and open up this part. So when I'm stitching it, I'll come in by 1.5 inches, then I'll stitch it up. Then here also I'll come in by 1.5 inch and stitch it up. Then all those parts will be open. Then I'll attach my band here. Okay, so this tutorial is all about cutting. I won't be showing the sewing part of it, but if you have any difficulty in joining any of them, feel free to ask me question on the comment section, and please do well to like this and share, and please don't fast forward the ads. Help me as I share my ideas with you. Please watch the ads, and if you have not subscribed yet, kindly do so by hitting on that red icon to subscribe. Also touch the notification bell to enable you be the first to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much if you are still watching till now. Thank you. See you in my next class. Bye.